Welcome to another edition of Whiskey, Games, and Nerd Stuff. Today's whiskey is Crown Royal Peach, and today's nerd stuff is part 2 of going through the random box that I threw out of the tote. Let's go ahead and take a sip of our whiskey. You can mix Crown Royal Peach with a lot of different things. However, I tend to just like to drink it straight. And it's a good mix of, I went straight from 100 proof whiskey in the prior video that I shot about 5 minutes ago to this. It's about 30 proof less. So you can definitely tell the difference. I'm going to go ahead and push this back a little bit. And then let's go ahead and go through a couple of these boxes. So the next one is, I'm starting to find out what this was. I'm starting to remember what this was. So I think part of this was my playset box. So here is a complete playset of the goblins. So what I would do is, back in the day, you would want to collect a set, and then you'd also collect a playset. So at least I did. So here's 4, and I think this box is my extras. So here is a complete playset of the elves, marsh goblins, dark. So again, I think this is my playset plus just random stuff. Goblins of the Flarg. Some of these were in that other video. Playset of Goblin Shrine. Playset of Goblin Sled. So I think this might have been my extra. Goblin Digging Team, or just I hadn't put these in a binder yet for some reason. Goblin Caves. Since most of these are commons, and maybe a few uncommons in here, most of these would have been, I think maybe it could also have been my trade box back in the day. Fisher. Good old land destruction decks. Erosion, playset of Erosion. Dark Heart of the Wild. I don't remember what this card does. You may sacrifice a forest to gain 3 life. Counts as both a black card and a green card. You know, that's not bad to put in a green-black deck. It's an enchantment too, so you can sacrifice, get that mana ramp up, start sacrificing your forest to get some extra lands. Playset of Carnivorous Plants. Brainwash. Venom. Only one in there for some reason. Murk Dwellers. Land Leeches only had 1. Inquisition seems to have only the 2. Look at target player's hand. Inquisition does 1 damage to target player for each white card in his or her hand. This was good when you were playing against somebody doing mono white, obviously. Goblin Hero. Ghost Ship. Excuse me. Alright, let's see what's in here a second, just out of curiosity. I know it's not a Black Lotus, because the Black Lotus is not in that. I wouldn't mind if I was mistaken, but I know the Black Lotus is not kept in this. Alright, this looks to be unlimited. Now, I always have a hard time telling unlimited cards from the revised cards, but if I remember right, it has something to do with the bordering. But the fact that they're in this box, to me, tells me that most of this is going to be unlimited. So it looks like I've got a bunch of unlimited. I got a swamp, some plains. Oh, yeah, and it says tap to add target. Revised would have had the tap symbol, if I remember correctly. So these should be all revised. These should all be my unlimited cards. Fog, Flight. Again, these are going to be mostly commons. They should be anyway. Fear. Dwarven, Warriors, Drug Skeleton, Unsummon. And please, anybody watching this, remind me if the Unlimited, the best way is to tell Unlimited from Revised. I know there's a couple different ways, I just don't remember off the top of my head at the moment. And then after somebody makes a comment, I'll add in there. In fact, maybe I'll do a comparison video of Revised versus Unlimited, but I know there's other people out there that are going to be able to say and articulate much better the difference between Revised and Unlimited. But I'm almost positive these are all Unlimited cards. Lance. Three crystal rods. Some crystal prisms, 3 of them. Blue ward. Looks like 4 Banish heroes. Invisibility. Circle of Protection green. And it looks like I'm getting into probably some collector's edition cards. So I have a Tunnel. Stone Giant. And again, the gold on the back does flake off, so you got to be careful. Moon Goblin Raiders. Fear. Crystal Rod. Wall of Water. Org. A land that needs to go in my land binder. Conversion. Burrowing. And then a beat up Psychic Venom for Revised. And let's go ahead and take a look and see what else in here. Oh, cool. So these are, now I do believe these are revised. This is 2 forks. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are revised. I mean, one of them might be unlimited, but I believe these are revised. Now, for those that have watched the Krenko video, I knew I had a couple extra forks floating around. I was thinking about adding fork to the Krenko Commander deck. Not that it's going to help the Krenko deck very well with my own cards, but I think it would help with if somebody wants to counter something, or if there's a spell that's out there that I want to go ahead and copy. And for those, you'll notice on here the original, they were calling instance, here let me get the camera to show that a little bit better, interrupt. So if you have an older card that says interrupt instead of instance, that's what the interrupt for. But basically what fork does is any one sorcery or instant spell just cast is duplicated. Treat fork as an exact copy of the target spell, except that fork remains red. Caster of fork chooses the copy's target. So often what would happen is you would cast something, somebody that's playing blue would counterspell what you wanted to cast. You could copy their counterspell and counter their counterspell so your spell goes through. I think for commander decks, fork would really be a good thing where think about it, if the other 3 players are doing something cool that you want to copy, if it's an instance or sorcery, bam, you've got it right there. So I think it's a good card to slip in as a surprise. Would love to hear your comments. And I think we're going to have to finish the box in the 3rd video. I'm trying to keep these ones a little bit short. But again, this was Crown Royal Peach. And this was just some random cards that I pulled out of a box in a tote. I've been playing Magic since it came out. So I know I've got quite a few totes and boxes of just random stuff. I'm just kind of pulling out stuff at random. Thought it would make some cool content and be fun to share with my friends on YouTube. Again, I appreciate everybody watching the videos. Would love to hear any comments, suggestions, thoughts on additional stuff you'd like to see. Are there any specific sets that you want me to try and pull out? Or do you just like the random stuff that I'm throwing out there? If you'd like to see any box openings, let me know. I do got a lot of the older boxes and some newer ones, so I did think it would be cool just to kind of pull some boxes at random. The other thing I used to do was back in the day on the pre-releases, we had a group of friends where we always kept our pre-release, what we pulled in pre-release. And the thought was, you could make a deck, you have the deck that you made in pre-release, but also the deck that you were going to make, that you could have made, and kind of see what was there. And it was always fun to see if somebody else could have made a better deck than yours, or with what you didn't play, have them make something and see if it could beat yours. So I'll probably start pulling out a couple old pre-release ones that here was what I played, here was how I placed, and then what came out. But just got to find those. Again, I really appreciate everybody taking the time to watch this. Please like, subscribe, comment. It really helps the channel. And until next time, cheers.